So, basically, I have played this game yesterday in the evening. I was just chilling a bit and I was like, yeah, let's play some chess. And I'm always playing like 10-minute games. As you can see, standard 10-minute game. I was just playing, I was getting black. And let's just go through the analysis. Like standard e4, I respond with e5. And then he goes for the classical move, knight f3. I think it's the most played move, all in all, through every rating, basically. I always play knight f3 also. And normally, the standard move, standard response would be knight c6, defending the pawn, which is attacked. I play that quite often as well. And like, I like to go, when I'm playing white, I like to go into the Ponziani, which intends this move, and then maybe standard response would be this, and then you've got the Ponziani with the pawns in the center. But this is not what happened in this game, because as black, I like to go for the Petrov defense, which is basically not defending this pawn in the first place, not quite gambiting it yet, but that's that's basically what I was gonna do. I like to play Petrov defense, and I like to actually gambit this pawn. So normal response is what he did, just taking the free pawn. Why wouldn't you? And now black can either play like d6, like d6, then knight goes back and take. And then it's basically quite an even position. But I was not about to play that because that is fucking boring. So I was playing the stafford. So I basically gambit away one pawn. And the engine line says I'm really bad in this position. The engine really doesn't like stafford gambit. It literally gives white +2. And d3 is the best move, as the engine suggests also, like d3 is the best move. But the problem with the stafford gambit is most people, first of all, don't play d3 because it blocks in their bishop. It's just not a pleasant move to play because it's super solid and kind of boring. So most people don't play d3, but most people play something like bishop c4 or knight c3, like some move like that. That's what most people play, or try to defend their pawn. I've seen this also, which are fine moves, but the biggest problem with playing against the stafford gambit is that it's one of the trappiest opening that exists in chess, basically. That's why I like to play it. It's so much action, and like if you know some theory, it's just super good for you. So basically, I was playing the stafford. He responded with knight c3, which is one of the most played moves, but which is kind of a blunder, to be honest. Then standard move. Like, this is the standard move you always play in stafford. You need to play this move to get your bishop out. Because the basic idea is always the same. It's always attacking this pawn. And kind of threatening mates, or threatening to take with a knight here, and like having this fork. It's like you've got a few ideas, but the basic idea is always revolving around this pawn in the stafford in the beginning. That's why you need your bishop on here, on this diagonal. H3 is a good response, which is basically just preventing this this knight g4 move, which would have been coming to attack this pawn, as I just said, with the knight. But now this is actually one of my favorite lines, because this is such a cool trap. This is one of my favorite stafford gambit lines, because you play knight h5 in here, which is, in my opinion, the best move, because it like kind of goes into that line that I just mentioned, which results in opening this rook up. Like, now I wanted my opponent to bring the bishop out and castle, just so that I can go here with my knight And if he takes and I take, I've got an open rook on his castled king. Basically would have been like, I don't know, bring the bishop out. I play something like that. Then he castles. I bring my knight here. He takes. I take. And then I've got my open rook on his castled king. That's basically what I mean. But that's the idea behind this h5 move, just to open up the rook once he castled and his rook isn't on this file anymore. So he brought his bishop out to attack this pawn. I don't really get this move. This is just a bad move in this case, because it doesn't really do anything, and it kind of even blocks his king in, so his king is in even more danger. But as it prepares castling as well. After investing some time in it, or like 20 seconds isn't that much, but still, I wasn't really sure about the theory. I played this queen d4 move, threatening mate, and he was preparing castling last move, so the most natural move here is just castling. But even though it looks natural, it's a blunder. Like I told you already, it's just a blunder. So I did play this move, which I told you before, which just is supposed to open my rook up, and then his king is in real danger. Then I go here, he takes, I take. I don't know what he does then. If he doesn't know the line, he probably takes like here, and then I go here, threaten the mate. And it's pretty much mate. Like, there's not much he can do. Bishop h5 or h3 is what he's supposed to play. But if he plays like this, I just take. And the best move, I don't know, you should see this. The best move is literally taking and sacrificing his queen. The best move, what the engine suggests, is sacrificing your queen, because there's no way this queen is gone. He's not winning it back in some kind of way. This is the best engine move that's played afterwards, and it's just bad. Like, he needs to sacrifice his queen. That's how bad the position is for him. But that's not quite what happened. Like, I played this move in order to open up the rook, and in order to put more pressure on here. Like, the knight move is not only for the knight to get captured. Like, the basic idea behind this move is putting more pressure on here, because I take on here with my knight, threaten the queen has to go maybe here. And I don't know, it's just really, really difficult for him. It's just really difficult for him to do anything here. But he sees that this pawn is attacked 3 times, so I would basically go here, and it's bad, as I explained. So he defends this pawn with his queen, and prevents this attack from happening on his queen also. But this is actually, as you maybe would have guessed, also kind of a blunder, because this allows me to go here with my queen, to play queen e5, which now my queen isn't even attacking this pawn anymore, because I don't care about this pawn now. His rook is here, his queen is here. This is just, why would I still attack this? Now I'm just threatening mate on h2. So he either takes, I take back, and I still threaten mate on h2, basically. Or he tries something else. But he tried something, and it's such a beautiful mate, because so many people actually walk into this. In this position, g3 is deadly. This is actually what my opponent plays, and this is just force mate, because g3, even though it looks defended, It's not, because this pawn is still pinned to the king. So I can just take with my queen. And this pawn cannot take back because it's pinned. Because your king is behind there. So he's only got one move, and then it's still the mate on h2. And this is what happened in that game. And it's such a beautiful mate. It's such a beautiful mate. Like, I kinda knew the idea behind this, but I never got into this position. I never got in this position in the stafford. And then he played the move that I was looking for. And this is such a good mate. I love this mate, actually. And the best thing about this is actually that chess.com considers this knight g4 move actually brilliant. I don't know why, I've got no clue why chess.com thinks that, but chess.com, the engine, suggests that this move is brilliant. I never had a brilliant move so far.